This adventure drama received positive reviews and it starred some big names such as Charlie Hunnam, Robert Pattinson, Sienna Miller and Tom Holland. However, the film couldn't break even at the worldwide box office. Directed by James Gray, the film was produced by Amazon Studios, who spent nearly $30 million on it. However, the film only managed to earn $20 million at the worldwide box office and $8 million in the US. There are many great movies about journalism and, She Said, is one of them. The film follows Jodie Cantor, Zoe Kazan, and Megan Twohey, Carey Mulligan, the journalists who investigate Harvey Weinstein's case and helped start the Me Too movement. Maybe for the film's subject, as well as the lack of promotion, the movie didn't make a splash at the box office. It grossed a paltry $13.9 million against a $32 million budget. However, it's worth watching, especially for the performances and the script. Not even a star-studded cast including Bradley Cooper, Cate Blanchett, Willem Dafoe, Toni Collette and more saved Guillermo del Toro's neo-noir psychological thriller from being a box office flop. The film grossed a total of $39.6 million worldwide against a $60 million production budget. The film was critically acclaimed, especially due to del Toro's direction, production values and, of course, cast's performances. It also received 4 nominations at the 94th Academy Awards, including Best Picture. However, it's still one underestimated movie, especially by audiences. Steven Spielberg's Jaws is considered to be the first modern blockbuster, however, that doesn't mean that the renowned director hasn't had some flops. One of the most recent, sadly, was his great remake of West Side Story, which is now considered one of the best musicals of all time. The film was a critical darling and it received several awards nominations, including Best Picture, with Ariana DeBose winning Best Supporting Actress. However, being delayed a year due to the pandemic, the movie grossed $76 million against a $100 million production budget. James Gray's Ad Astra received rave reviews from critics, and it's considered to be one of Brad Pitt's best performances in recent years. However, unlike a similar film such as Interstellar, it wasn't exactly appealing to the masses. The movie cost $90 million to make, and 20th Century Fox funded it. However, Disney released it after the merger. Unfortunately, it only made $127 million worldwide, and just $50 million of that came from the US box office. Martin Scorsese is, usually, a reliable director when it comes to attracting audiences. However, this film was outside of his usual zone, as it's a child story. Starring Asa Butterfield and Chloe Moritz, it follows a young orphan who loves pottering around with the station clocks and whose most treasured possession is his late father's automaton. The movie was critically acclaimed, earning 11 Oscar nominations including Best Picture. It also won 2 BAFTAs and 3 Golden Globes, including Best Director for Scorsese. However, the film didn't do well at the box office, grossing just $185 million against its estimated $150 million budget. Paul Thomas Anderson is one of the most renowned directors alive. However, he also has had its flops at the box office. One of his most acclaimed films, The Master, barely broke even, earning $16 million in the US and only $28.3 million worldwide against a $32 million budget. The period drama was well received by critics, and it is considered as one of the best movies of the 2010s and the 21st century so far. Also, Joaquin Phoenix, Philip Seymour Hoffman, and Amy Adams all received Oscar nominations for their work. This emotional sports drama, directed by Gavin O'Connor, stars Tom Hardy, Joel Edgerton and Nick Nolte. The story follows 2 estranged brothers that end up sorting out their lives and relationship when they join a mixed martial arts tournament. While it was well received by critics and Nolte earned a nomination for Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars, the movie struggled at the box office. With a budget of $25 million, the movie was released in September and only grossed $13 million in the US. Well, definitely, Blade Runner isn't exactly an easy sell point. Denis Villeneuve's legacy sequel for Ridley Scott's original, which was also a box office disappointment, only managed to gross $80 million against a production budget of $150 minus $185 million. Surprisingly, it didn't help to have a strong cast including Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford. However, the film is considered one of the best sci-fi films of all time, and it received critical acclaim. The movie received many accolades, including Academy Awards for Best Cinematography and Best Visual Effects out of 5 nominations. The sci-fi flick directed by Andrew Stanton was a major box office flop despite its massive $250 million budget. The film, based on the classic Edgar Rice Burroughs novel, follows a former soldier transported to Mars, where he gets caught in a war between two factions. It grossed just $284 million globally, failing to cover its costs. However, it is visually stunning with a rich, imaginative world that deserves recognition. The action is thrilling, and the performances, especially by Taylor Kitsch, give the story depth. Though it didn't resonate with audiences at the time, it remains an underrated picture well worth watching. Rachel McAdams probably gave her best performance of her career in this coming-of-age dramedy based on Judy Blume's novel of the same name. Written and directed by Kelly Fremon Craig, the movie stars Abby Ryder Fortson as Margaret, a 11-year-old girl who moves out to New Jersey and begins to talk to God about her concerns, anxieties, and hopes. The film was praised by critics for being truthful to the novel, as well as the real struggles of puberty and adolescence while being funny and human. However, despite being one of the highly rated movies of the year, it grossed $21 million worldwide against a production budget of $30 million.